This is Christoph Yalik.
This is Just Janet.
And this is K. Colley.
And this is
the Just Nuggets Podcast.
Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of the Just Nuggets Podcast. My name is K. Colley. Fresh off maybe one of the best wins I've seen in a long time by the Nuggets.
Yep, it surely was.
Jays, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good. Doing well. Yeah, this is January 6th, day after the Nuggets beat the 76ers, and we have a lot to talk about in that game. It was thrilling, exciting, and it was the nine because the rest of our team, as we're going to talk about, have injuries.
That's officially what you're dubbing the game, the nine?
The nine.
The Philadelphia Nine.
The Philadelphia Nine.
I love that.
Christoph, how you doing today?
What's up? Happy New Year. Nuggets get a dub. It was, we'll get into it, but like that dub was like one of those ones you're like, okay, brought a smile to our face. We haven't been smiling of late.
Yeah. It's been
made me a happy Nuggets fan again.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been a tough little stretch for the Nuggets. I should say just for last night, the Nuggets won 125-124 in Philly versus a fully healthy, it looked like 76ers.
In overtime.
Nevertheless. Some standouts from the game. I'll start with one and then maybe we'll go around the horn, but Jalen Pickett absolutely balled out. He was the leading scorer of the Nuggets. He had 29 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. What did you see from Jalen Pickett that excited you?
We knew it was in there, and we've seen glimpses, but he put it all together. He had one of those games where he put it all together. A lot of people were talking about this game today, and one of the things I think they said was, all these, when you get to the NBA, you know how to play ball, and you've been more than that. You've been number one on, ever since you were little and started on the court, and you got accolades, and you were always that person. Then you get to the NBA, and you got to find your place on that team, depending on who drafted you or where you got traded. And all these guys last night were good guys and have accomplishments in their college careers or for a long time. And they looked like it last night. They looked like they used to be that guy. They all came to play. They were playing free flow basketball. They were running up the court. They were playing defense. And all of it came together for all of them. That was what was most remarkable to me, that we wanted to see more out of Najee. We wanted to see more out of Pickett. We wanted to see more out of a lot of them. And it all happened. And it happened in the game that was needed. And so I think that was one of the things that was most phenomenal for me.
Yeah, I love that point, Jays. And I think, we are quick to point at somebody when they haven't done well. And truth be told, Zeke Naji and Hunter Tyson, you guys had such a great night last night. And Pickett, I'll let you guys touch on it. But like, what a night from those two specifically. Hunter Tyson with that 4-point play, just playing loose. They literally they were playing with house money, and it looked like they were like, okay, like when like if the Hornets or that little foreshadowing there, or another team that's not as good is like playing to the Nuggets, and we're like, why are we playing down their competition? And then you always say, well, they get paid too.
Yeah.
Right? Last night, the Nuggets were they get paid too. They're still professionals. And Hunter Tyson going 2 or 4 from the 3-point line, 4 or 7 overall. Zeke Naji taking 11 shots, playing 32 minutes, had 21 points. Not only that, he was guarding Embiid.
Yes.
Switching off on Paul George, held him down. The team collectively only held him to 8 points.
Yeah.
Like, that was such a good, just an all-around team win. I know half the team was out, but like, last point I want to make on this is that what that game really does or shows, or at least what it should show to the starters, because if you really think about it, that was like the top 8 guys out,
Yeah.
Your 6-man, Tim Hardaway, your backup big and Big Val, and then your starters, right?
All 5 starters.
When you see that your bench, your deep bench and the back half of your bench can put together a dub against a team that's playing well on the road, who used to be, I think it's probably over now, who used to be one of your rivals, you know? Like that was a big nationally televised game. They stepped up. If I was a starter on the team, that would make me feel even better about the team we have going into February, March, April, May, June.
Right. And let's just set this up for the audience about where Philly is in their season. They had won the last three games and they scored 130 points, and I'm hearing all of them, each one of them. So they were coming in, they were just finally healthy. And B came back. He was there, Maxi, their new rookie who's just off the chain,
Oh, VJ Edgecombe.
VJ Edgecombe,
He balled.
and then and PG.
Oh,
So
sure.
Paul George. So they had their team was who they have. This is who they're going to go to battle with. And so they weren't playing, a hurt 76ers to make it even more special what they did last night.
No, I agree with you, and I think ultimately what that comes down to, and I heard someone else say it, but it's the truth. uh, David Alderman's culture that he's building in Denver, where it is like, hey, I believe the next man up syndrome. They talk about a lot in football, but in basketball, you saw it in real form in his system, and that says a lot about the culture and what these guys believe they can and can't do. Mind you, I mean, this has happened underneath Malone too, so I don't want to act like David Alderman's the only one that's built this culture, but I think it is, I guess, in large part a Nuggets culture where when it's time to get going, we can play a really strong game. We didn't even mention Peyton Watson, who had 24
Oh yeah.
points. He was balling out. Spencer Jones had drawn him, and Zeke Naji drew one of the hardest assignment guarding the 7'1" Joel Embiid, and they
Yeah.
both stepped up to the plate. Obviously, Coach Da, another good thing they did was put them in that zone. That zone was killing them.
Yeah.
Like
His own
the
work.
76ers didn't know what to do with the zone. So there's a couple things that
And that block, it was not skim right over that block. On the second to final possession from in overtime on I think it was Maxi. But Spencer Jones like put his body out on the line because as you can see on that play, he goes up, he swats the ball. Someone fell to the ground from the Sixers. He falls on him, or it kind of he puts it. He sacrificed for that shot, and that he blocked it was essentially became like an outlet pass to Brucey B. Brucey B goes down there, puts the layup, that gets goaltending, game winning, and then we had to hold our breath for that last second Maxi shot. But if you really think about that, it's crazy. And something else I just noticed, you know, we're kind of burying the lead since our last conversation or since our last pod. Nikola Jokic is hurt and has a left or right knee strain. It has a knee strain and will be out for the remaining weeks here in January.
yeah,
So obviously,
the streets are saying he's gonna be back into January.
I'm cool with that because we got the Thunder on the first.
Probably.
So, just looking at it, it's like your best player in the world is gone. And that's major when you think about AG and CB have come back and played. They played at Brooklyn. We could talk about that game in a second. But something that stood out to me is the only two games they have won since the injury occurred, Jokic's, is at Toronto and at Philadelphia. I know they have at Boston to end this road trip tomorrow night. But when you look at the standings, that's the 4-5 in the East, you
Yeah.
know? So yeah, they lost to Miami, they lost to Cleveland, both very winnable, and they're both,
Lost to
they're
Orlando,
lost to
lost
Orlando.
to
So they lost to
Nets,
the 6, 7,
and
and
they lost
8.
the Nets.
And then the Nets, you already know how I feel about the Nets, but like the 6, 7, and 8 teams in the East. But they beat the 4 and the 5. So what that shows to me is what I already said is we have confidence on the deep bench that should also show 1 through 7 that if anything happens, we can depend on it, and we're a deeper team. And if I had to look ahead, and you know me, I have to be this guy. I have to be that Nuggets fan. Um, there's only one person I would trade, and that's Julian Strawther, because in this game somehow the bench had such a great day and everybody's balled out except for Mr. Strother, who only had 6 points in 15 minutes. So,
He's second
you
in
know,
assist if it means anything.
And he's recovering from being hurt, so we're gonna give him a little
I'm
deference.
just saying that's every year. We're gonna say this every year. I just think you could trade him high. I say trade him high. That would be my one little hater takeaway.
So you're moving off trading Zeke Naji now?
Oh yeah, Zeke.
Well, I don't think I ever said, I mean, years ago I said trade Zeke. I just know that contract ain't tradable. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
I mean, I have nothing. I'm on an embargo. I'm not saying anything bad about Zeke Naji or Hunter Tyson today. I'm
No.
zipped, zilch, nada coming out of my mouth about them. They
He
played
balled
their
out.
ASSs
I'm
off.
telling you. I know this podcast, sometimes this is deep bench, so sometimes these guys just really don't have good games, and especially when they play at the starters,
And
sometimes
they're hot and cold. They don't
they're
get
hot and cold.
Yeah.
These guys balled
They
out
did.
last night. I'm
Yeah.
like, again, I'm just looking at the stats.
They were their
Jalen
very,
Pickett, 29 points.
they were
Zeke
their
Naji,
very best
21 points.
selves. And that's again, that's hard to do, to get your whole team to play their very best game at one time when you really need
When you
it,
really need them.
from a
And
group like that.
And you got Peyton Watson, who just not even to last night, who had 24 points, but Peyton Watson has been on a tear
Yes,
this year.
he has.
Like throughout the year, he's been hooping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
If you go listen to the first podcast, I think I said Peyton Watson was going to be an
Yeah.
X factor, and I'd like to say I'd like to take that victory lap as we.
That was an epic game. Like, like I said, they're professionals, but like I think when you come off the bench, you're thinking a little bit, you're playing with the best player in the world, you're playing with the in the past five in the world, you might be overthinking your role on the
Yep.
team. But like when it's just y'all play together, y'all scrimmage together, like you already kind of know each other and you're
Right.
professionals.
Right.
Like you are the starter.
Yeah.
You are coming off, you are the sixth man. Like there's nothing to overthink. It's just go out there and hoop. And I think, like I said, that was an epic game. Like they just went out there and collectively said F it.
Yeah.
And you saw that they played with the intensity. And I think Philadelphia, and this is gonna happen in an 82 game season. They said, okay, they got 9 people out, including all their starters. We should dub out. And then midway through the third, they're like, okay, we just need to go on a run. Midway through the fourth, it's like, okay, we'll just have a good 5 minutes. At the last 2 minutes of the game, it was scratching and clawing. But by that point, this team already had confidence.
And
And I must say, this team got championship pedigree.
oh yeah.
So,
You know who
you
else?
know,
Who else can take their victory lap last night? Brucey B.
Brucey B.
And the reason why I say Brucey B is
had the game
because
winner.
he had not only did he have the game winner, but if you have been on Nuggets Twitter over the last couple of days or weeks, it was starting to bubble up. They were starting to say a lot about Brucey B. So I think that was a very big moment for him to get them shoulders shrugged and be like, I'm still Brucey B when y'all need me. You know what I mean? I think that's very important for us, especially going into the middle part of the season now.
He had a great game. Can we talk about? I know once more, it's been a while since we were on the pod. Obviously, last night's game was fantastic. Can we just kind of revisit Christmas a little bit?
Wait, before we go to Christmas, though, did you have anything to say about De'Aaron Holmes? I know he had a tough game last night, but what have you seen from the rookie that
I
you?
feel like De'Ron Holmes, he's working himself into becoming an NBA player.
Yeah.
I think the game's moving really fast for him at the moment. But the only way it's gonna slow down is by getting minutes. And I think
Yeah.
DA, with these injuries, especially the one to Big Val, he'll get more playing time. And as Nuggets fans and observers, we just have to just be patient with them because unlike Julian Strawther, this is really his first true year. You know, so we see it.
Yeah.
You know, just to beat the Strawther horse one more time. It's like he won us a game in the playoffs.
He did.
Like hats off. Like if that was your claim to fame as your time with the Nuggets, I'm cool. And there was a time if we had the pod here, I'm pretty sure one of y'all had been like, "Yo, RJ Hampton's good. Like I like RJ Hampton." And then ultimately, we had to get rid of RJ Hampton. It is what it is. And you see who we got back in return. I don't know if the type of haul could come back, but I think that Julian Strawther has enough potential with enough upside that some GM is going to be like, okay, let's do
Sure.
it, pull the
Yeah.
trigger.
Well, they saw him
That
in
would
the
be my trade
playoffs.
asset going
Remember,
forward.
he had a good game in the playoffs
think
on
He won.
that
He won. He
stage.
won game 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
His
So
his issue really is a minutes issue. I don't think Julian Strawther. I think once again you'll see like other Nuggets that have left, Hartenstein and some of the other ones, Michael Porter, Gillespie. Sometimes it really truly is a minutes thing, and I think Julian Strawther will be fine. Which goes to say the Nuggets shouldn't sell him off. I mean, sell. I shouldn't say it like that. I mean, trade him off for something. For like only a second round pick or something. Like we should see if we can get a really good return back for him.
yeah. or package him or something like that.
Yeah, so Christoph, what are you about to say about Christmas night? Because that was a special game. I do want to touch on that.
That was incredible. I mean, this dude, Nikola,
Yeah,
is 56, 16, and 15. I mean, now that he's hurt, it kind of like, I feel like it deifies him even more to me. Because you watch this team and then they go back to playing like NBA basketball.
right,
Because when he's there, they play Nuggets basketball, which is his brand of basketball.
right.
You know, there's cutters, there's movers. The ball is always frequently moving. They always have the attention is always on high, eyes wide open. Everyone's ready to shoot. Everyone's open for that ready look, that alley oop, whatever it is. Backdoor cuts, all sorts of stuff, because he can find you at any point in time. He's just such a great facilitator, or he could put his shoulder down, dribble, 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 make you do a dipsy do move, and hit you with anything. Ask Rudy Gobert for I don't know how many times the stats he has against Rudy Gobert are just ridiculous at this point.
Yeah,
And he's a
want to hear that? You
four-time
want to hear
defensive player
them?
of the year. Go for it. But like,
Last five
so he
games,
can,
34, 8 and 4, 34, 8 and 4 against Rudy Gobert, three-time defensive player of the year, by the way. 61, which was a career high, 10 and 10, 25, 19 and 10, 27, 12 and 11, and then Christmas Day he had 56, 16 and 15.
Yeah.
so stupid. He puts up stupid numbers, so he could do whatever he wants. And then when you watch without him, starting on that Miami game on December 29th, it just, it's a different team in all the worst ways. The ball doesn't move. They become stagnant. They don't hit their jumpers. Jamal Murray was trying his best just to lug this team along.
Yeah.
But like when he went off the court, it flatlined. That's why we enjoyed last night because everybody raised their potential,
Yeah.
and that's beautiful. And they had to do that again. Hopefully, we're not out 8 players against Boston tomorrow night. But if they are, it should give everybody hope. I'm not saying they're gonna do it again,
Well,
but
yeah, I'll
that
say
they're capable of it. And I think
But
that capable of it is like enough potential energy to make everybody feel confident about the team that they have and the team that the Nuggets are.
I'm just saying, put it like this, they're surprisingly better than you might have expected them to be, even though we lost the game, that Brooklyn game I thought we should have won. Um, we're this is a long road trip. We're on I don't know, our last
Cleveland, they
day on
definitely
the
should have won.
yeah, I heard they got on a plane
they kind of
December 26th, and today's January 6th. So they've been out on the road a while, and they
Yeah,
played the
it's a
West Coast
seven.
swing.
It's an East Coast swing.
Yeah, I'm
So
sorry,
they
East Coast swing.
so it started Saturday, December 27th at Orlando, then at Miami, which awful day, but
every other day.
they had to get their leg back for the finals. So if
Every
we,
other day they were playing.
yeah, then they went across the border to Toronto, then they came back to Cleveland, then at Brooklyn, at Philadelphia, and they close it tomorrow at Boston. So that's nuts. That's just truly nuts.
Without
Another game,
Joker went down in which game?
Like game
number two.
two.
And
Yeah.
Yeah,
really the first half because he got hurt
right. The
right before
first half,
halftime.
right.
So
So
he only really played one and a half games of this road trip. And they should have won that Orlando game. That I didn't watch down the stretch of what occurred, but like when I stopped watching, I was like, they're gonna coast this game. But I think they allowed like 43 points or something in the fourth.
Yeah, if they
yeah,
would have won that Orlando game or even that Cleveland game,
or the Brooklyn.
well, the Brooklyn, we're just out of it, so it's hard to say we're gonna win it. I don't know. The Nuggets still to this day, we ain't shaking the matinee issue. The Nuggets on a matinee Sunday has been killing us.
Yeah, I
Outside
mean,
of, yeah, playoffs.
then MPJ was out for blood.
Yeah,
Call it
but
what it is.
here's the thing though. Shout out to MPJ. I hope you're an all-star and all that too. But like MPJ wasn't the reason we lost that game. Like the Nuggets was getting cooked by Cam Thomas. Like the Nuggets was getting beat regardless. Like MPJ could have a quiet night. The Nuggets gonna lose that one. It just wasn't a good game for us.
Yeah, and
And
41
yet
points in the third was dire.
we're third in the West. So
Oh, we're fourth in the West.
well, we're 24th and 12, and
We played so many games.
Yeah, it's the
The
West.
Nuggets are third in the West.
We're third in the West. OKC, San Antonio, Denver, Houston. And Houston, I know we're going to talk about them and not Nuggets, so I'll save it. But we're holding our own. If we could stay around 3, 4, even 5, I'll be okay.
And we got the
Till Joker
tiebreaker.
comes
We
back.
got the tiebreaker against Houston, anyways. Because then we beat Houston 3 times, and they beat us once.
I think it's 3-1.
Yeah, I think we beat them 3 times. They only beat us once. So I think we should have the tiebreaker against Houston. Um, like I said, that Christmas game. Where do you put that? Do you put that ahead of the AG dunk game, or where do you put that on the Nuggets Christmas games?
Oh, mm, that's a good question.
It's pretty good.
Honestly, I had to put that number one.
Me too.
I had to put that number one because, and solely because they were down nine at the
Yeah,
start of overtime. Like they went on, like, what was it? It was like a 17-0 run in like sometime in the second quarter.
yeah,
Nuggets continue to keep it, build their lead. Then they go on a 12-0 run in the fourth
Then they had
to
a
get
game
it there.
tiebreaker.
Anthony Edwards hits that corner three that I was dumbfounded by.
sure.
They had all the momentum. And I hate to say this as a Nuggets fan, but in essence it is true because even that 60-20 whatever game that Jokic's career game last season, that was in Denver versus Minnesota. Minnesota can win at Ball Arena. Call it what it is. I hate to say it, tell the truth, shame the devil. So they're confident. And when Ant hit that three to send him up by 9, and he's looking at the fans, he's throwing up the threes, he's talking his mess, he's nodding his head. I was like, okay, well, it was a Merry Christmas. I had a good Christmas. I spent it with
Yeah.
family. I was like, okay, whatever. Well, it was a nightcap, no one watched. And then Nikola came out of that timeout, hit that three, bam. And then fast break gave it to Tim Hardaway, boom.
Bam.
Nikola, boom. Nikola with a
Pinned
little
down.
yeah. Then Jamal gets in it, and it was like,
18 points later by Jokic too.
and 18 points in overtime, a
Set the
combined
record.
50 points,
Yeah.
NBA record for overtime for both the teams. That was one of the best overtime periods I've ever watched. I would actually say it was the best overtime period I've ever watched.
Yeah.
That comeback was crazy. I just
It was
remember
stupid. It
there,
was
like
crazy.
I was
And then
literally
the and
like,
then the stat line he puts up is crazy. So
Yeah.
Nikola, I had to say that's number one. I love the AG dunk game, but that's kind of outside of it being,
it was
the
double
AG
overtime.
dunk game. It
It
was
was
double
double
overtime,
overtime.
but outside of that moment, I don't really remember things. Let's do a moment of silence for Shamit real fast. Okay, continue.
Uh, well, let me ask this question since we're talking about styles, okay? Um, and it's not really hard to say what the answer should be, but because they had such a good game last night, free flow, playing the way they play, not having Jamal or a Joker playing our normal style. Do you think the bench now should just come out to not have the overlap with Jamal running the team when the bench comes, but let them kind of play free throw style the way they played last night. And then when Joker's on the court, or Val, because then Val could go either way. Um, play our way, play the Nuggets way, the starters way. I think there's some push and pull because if they could continue to play like they played last night in that style, why not have the bench come out and just be the bench is the way they play and not try to impose, put a starter with them to play through. What do you think?
Don't say don't let what happened last night shade your reality.
Okay, that is an answer in and of itself too. What about you,
I,
Doc?
I would say it's a little bit of a different answer because I think there's a playoff mentality and there's a regular season mentality. So something like that can work, swimmingly in the regular season. But in the playoffs, you're going to want to make sure that like you are calling timeouts if things are getting out of hand, you're keeping the right guys on the court. So I think no matter what, that bench is going to shrink up during
Yeah,
during the playoffs regardless. I do think to your point, there is a level of and this probably, Coach DA and, the rest of the staff, Jared Dudley and the rest of them, can look at it and say, hey, there is opportunities for us to, flex our bench style a little bit more, especially if Big Val's not in or something. Because
Right.
Big Val
Val's
can
gonna be
basically
out.
play
He's gonna
like,
be out, though. For the next, he hurt he has an injury as well,
Yeah.
and he's gonna be out 4 weeks, I think. So to win these games without Joker and Val, they may have to revert to that type of style. I don't know.
I would say, yeah, in the regular season, last night has given you a little bit more faith that you can expand the bench's minutes. So you don't have to always have a starter out there
Yeah,
with them
and that
in
would
regular
rest
season
Jamal
games.
because the starter that's going to be out there is Jamal, and everyone else is
And that could
down,
lead.
and he's still playing every game.
Yeah, and I think that should take you to I think that should take you to the All-Star game, that expanded bench.
Yeah,
And then post All-Star game, maybe to March, keep the expanded bench. And then March 1st, you just start to tighten
sure.
and try different things. And to answer your question, Dot, the Nuggets have played the Houston Rockets 3 times. They play one more time. What day is it? They play one more time, I believe in March sometime. Yeah, March 11th.
Okay, cool. So we'll have a lot of good games coming down the stretch.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, let's go to not Nuggets. As you know, was that last night? I'm now mixing up the dates, but the Knicks and Pistons played.
They played last night.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pistons beat them. Pistons are now number one in the East. What do y'all like to say about the Pistons or Knicks? Like, who do you like in the East right now?
Uh, well, I think it's still we're waiting to see. I don't think there's just like in the West right now. We didn't really spend a whole lot of time on OKC, but I think we'll start with the East. I'll answer your East question, then we'll go to OKC in the West. I think it's everybody's jockeying for position like they should be.
Let me frame it so I can help you a little bit. Do you think the Pistons can win the East?
Sure,
Okay.
sure. I mean, anybody could get beat. We just saw it
That
last
was a tough. That was I wasn't sure if I really believed you're sure right there, Jays. Are you
night.
sure the Pistons? Do you think the Pistons can win the East?
Do you think that it should be favored based on the fact that the one?
No, 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 no. Don't do all that. Do you think the Detroit Pistons can win the East?
Not really. I mean, I think that they have a good shot at it, but if you told me, I'd be more serious about saying Boston can, or something like that.
Are you telling me Tatum's coming back? Is that what you're hoping? Is that why
No,
you're saying you think Boston right now can beat the Pistons?
have they played? And I need to look at the schedules and see if they play. I don't know yet because I don't see any horse that's leading the pack that strongly yet. So that's what I'm saying, I guess.
Well, the Nuggets see the Pistons twice in the next 4 weeks. They have them on January 27th, and then again on sorry, computer's freezing up on me.
Yeah.
They have them on January 27th and again on February 3rd.
Wow.
So you're going to see them twice here.
Okay.
First one's in Denver, second one's in Detroit. So
Okay.
you're going to see them very close, up close and personal. And not only that's a crazy back to back because hopefully we have Yoke back because you have Sunday home versus OKC, 2 days later at Detroit.
Wow.
So we'll see.
That'll be a great week for us to see where we're matched up against them. I would say that here's the thing I'd say about Detroit. I think they got their first lesson in real playoff basketball last year, going to 7 with the Knicks. They're not scared of the Knicks whatsoever. So if they play the Knicks in the series, I bet they could beat the Knicks. And if you're telling me the Knicks are the number one, the team to beat in the East right now, then I think the Pistons have a great shot of winning the East.
You notice I didn't say the Knicks. I said Boston, but we'll see. That's why I said it's hard to say at this minute in January.
Right now,
that's when we'll keep to it. We'll keep to it.
Boston has played the Pistons twice so far this regular season. They have each won one game, and they have another game coming up at Detroit on January 19th. So get your popcorn ready because obviously that's gonna be a good game.
Let's switch to the speaking of the Rockets because you had mentioned them earlier. KD still got it.
Game winner.
3-point
game winner last night. Yeah. KD's KD. You know, he wanted to beat Phoenix, his old team. I don't know. There's a little bit of bad blood or something going on, or he's feeling some kind of way about leaving. And so he wanted to prove that they miss him or they needed him
Or they
or
shouldn't have got rid
they
of him.
shouldn't have got rid of him. Whatever he was trying to say, he said it because they lost by 3 points, which was his game winner.
I hate to say it, but if you look at the stats, the Suns are only one game behind the Rockets.
Yeah.
One game, even though they've had four more losses, so that the Rockets are going to end up being the higher seed than them or whatever. But I think the trade ends up working for the best for both of them. Suns weren't going to win with the two-man game with Devin Booker and KD, but the Suns win by getting picks back and now being able to rebuild the correct way because I think Devin Booker you can still build a good team around him. They
And
almost won a
they haven't
champ.
had Jalen Green all season.
Yeah, I said they almost won a championship
Yeah.
building around Devin Booker the first time. They need to probably go back to that. I think it happens in the NBA so much, and Boston was able to overcome it, but it took them a long time too. Sometimes when you have like two dual scorers and the rest of the people are just around you moving, it can kind of create that situation where it's hard to win. Like you saw like the Knicks, I mean the Clippers couldn't pull it off either with Kawhi and Paul George.
Right.
We're just like two-man passing the ball. You get your shot, I get my shot. You
Right.
get your 30, I get my 30, while the rest of the team is just sitting there paying, you're waiting for the ball, right?
Right.
That
Double
doesn't work in the
ISOs.
NBA. So I think the ultimate reason why Boston was able to pull it off is because Derek White finally, they figured out how to get Derek White into the mix and he started balling out. Al Horford started hooping, and he had the fixins, you
Yeah.
had all the guys around him. And then not to mention you when you add Drew Holiday of all people
Sure.
to that team, like them getting rid of Drew Holiday killed them
Yeah.
last year. So
Yeah.
you got to build a team, and that's what you even see with the Nuggets. Like you can have Jokic and Jamal,
But you need
but you need all the guys
you
around him
need
that can really
everything.
hoop.
Yeah,
Yeah, no doubt.
and then I was gonna say we could talk about Dylan Brooks and Gillespie, how they contribute to the Phoenix Suns. So they're starting to gel down there in Phoenix. That's
No,
why.
and to that point, like when you have a KD, you have that behemoth, gravitational pull, one of the best scorers in basketball history,
Yeah.
and the history of the game, the history of the sport, who is so great, and the ball's gonna have to go either his hand or Book's hand every single time, down the court, or it was a bad possession. Now you kind of allowing, the game to kind of like you have a centerpiece to your point, Dot. You have a centerpiece and you have a Gillespie who can step up. You have Royce O'Neal who's been shooting the piss out the ball. It's like, and then you have Dylan Brooks who's just being his agitating self and truly he seems like he's happy on the court playing defense, getting into it.
Yeah.
They like I mentioned, they don't have Jalen Green yet. The Suns are good. They're scary. I don't personally, as a Nuggets fan, think they're Nuggets scary. I think the Nuggets would win that in 5 or 6. But if healthy, if completely healthy, I feel like we had to say that now. We got to throw that in there. If healthy, the Nuggets will beat them in
And
X,
I'll
Y,
say
Z.
this: I would just say Suns are not going to probably win a playoff series, but they'll play in a playoff series. That's the
Hmm.
best way of saying it. Other thing I would say for the Rockets, unless they make some trade at the deadline, their scoring is still like they only scored 100 points right there in that game. Like their scoring is still who's going to be that guy that really rises with KD because they need somebody that's going to be a little bit more consistent. So we'll see what happens at trade deadline.
Honestly, if we're being completely
Their win is in their length and then their defense right now. But go ahead.
if I'm being completely honest, I would pray for the final Western Conference standings to end as this, because you'd have OKC, maybe not actually, because you have OKC at 1, San Antonio at 2, Denver, Houston at Lakers, Minnesota, Suns, Golden State. So it would be nice if I want OKC and San Antonio to play each other second round. And I would either love to take on the Rockets, Lakers, or Timberwolves. I know I'm getting way ahead of myself, but it's a segue to my next point is that the Spurs match up incredibly well versus the Thunder. So much so that I think that they unlocked something that I don't think the league, because last episode we had the conversation. They were 21-1. This NBA Cup Finals semis were coming up. I think they got up to 24-1, and then all of a sudden that team from South Texas, you know, South Central Texas at that, they with the freak from the France,
Yeah.
who's an absolute deity. I'm calling it now. It's not like I'm going out on a limb saying that, but like this dude is monstrous. They do not match up well against them. And basketball is a game of runs and it's a game of matchups.
But you know
And
why they don't match up with
OKC,
them? Because OKC is fast, and so is San Antonio. They're young. OKC is young, so is San Antonio. And the only thing that OKC does not have is Wemby. So when you add everything they have to look the same, and then you
The
have
different
him,
the difference is
that's
when
it. The difference is
the
Wemby.
difference is Wemby because all SGA, like, don't get me wrong, SGA is a great basketball player, but if he has one efficiency, it's his 3-point shooting. So he always is trying to get to the hole. But if you're going against one of the best defenders
Yeah.
in basketball at seven
he's
foot
meeting you
six, he's
there.
beating you there. He don't really care what you try to do.
He's
All that
nullifying your
shimmying and
best
push.
player.
I'm not gonna sit there and shimmy and push with you. I'm gonna put my hand up and you're gonna have to shoot over it.
Yep.
That's what's gonna happen.
Nullifying your best player. And I think what happened, I'm just looking at it from an outsider looking in. I think that Superman saw his own blood, you know, and right now we're in the dog days of the NBA season, and I feel like they know they're not invincible. You know, winning 77 games or 74 even, they're like, okay, that's a lot more difficult of a task than I thought it was going to be. And as the Nuggets learned a few seasons ago, when you're the champion,
Yep.
you get everyone's best shot night after night.
All
And
the
I think
Last
they were
night,
time.
a-
last night they got that lesson in full
uh,
from Charlotte Hornets.
Yep.
exactly at home. And I think what occurred is that early in the season they were still off that adrenaline, off that championship high.
Yep.
And then, like I said, San Antonio made them bleed. And now a little bit of doubt crept in. Just enough to break the levee. And now it's like, okay, dang, this title defense is more difficult than I thought it was going to be because we
Yeah.
thought
Yep.
we was about to coast.
Yeah.
We was
Yep.
about to lose one game a month. Like this is cake. And now you start to see that even Charlotte Hornets, they get paid.
Yeah.
They
And
really
Melo throwing up half court shot or whatever that corner three he did at the buzzer, and they can lock you up. They got some good young talent there. Brandon Miller goes off and has a good night, and you got beat by the you know
and the
team that's
Rook.
10 games below
The
500.
Rook's name? What's the Rook's name? You
Con
know?
Koppel.
Yeah, Comple. He had 23 points too.
I know they can shoot. He could fire it up. So uh, that is another. That's like the Hornets are a prototypical NBA regular season team. Now, if you're kind of struggling or you're tired or you don't have it that night, you don't want to see
Yeah.
them because they're gonna run and they're gonna run and shoot. They're gonna chuck and duck.
Before
And
we
if
go,
they start hitting and they're playing with confidence and they're like, okay, you're the champions, we got to play our best. Yeah, probably gonna get smoked by what was it, 27?
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I was gonna say before we go to the 2 minutes remaining, I do just have a random question as we kind of move closer to the trade deadline. It's coming up next month. What do you think about Trae Young? Do you think he's one of the people that moves
yeah,
on the board?
he's told his
Because
team they're trying to work. Actually, they're trying. I heard they were working together. If there's such a thing with his team, because they know is I guess his agent has been talking to him that he wants to be traded, or he's looking to be traded, or thinks he is going to get traded.
I think what teams are learning is that you can't be a cone on defense, not in this NBA.
No,
And Lakers is feeling it with Luca.
yeah,
Atlanta's feeling it now. You can have guys like Dyson on your team from Atlanta, and still have someone like Trae Young who's so talented offensively that you're gonna have to do something defensively. And you're not Jokic where you're still 7 foot and you can still steal. Like
yeah,
Jokic has all that. Trae Young is like, if I get past you or if I go through your chest, there's nothing you're doing on the basketball court. So it'll be interesting to see where Trae Young goes and kind of what his role becomes in the NBA because he's still like an all-star when he's at his best. But
sure,
it's
I
like you can't give up all assets to go get Trae Young either.
no,
No, I think to your point, Jays, is the conversations are already ongoing.
yes,
They're kind of they're kind of preserving him. They do. You see, they have a losing record when he plays.
Yeah.
So and they have a winning record when he doesn't. So
well,
that's never a good sign when your air quote best player, you guys are better without him.
Sure.
So, and then another bad sign or an interesting sign, shall I say, that I've been paying attention to, or like at least in the early rumblings of rumor mill with that trade, is that they're going to trade him to the Wizards. And doing my best Wimby, it's like, so you're going to trade him in division to a
Yeah.
team that's worse than you. I think that speaks volumes of what that team thinks of
Trade.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
they're like, not only will we trade you in our division, we're going to
Right.
trade you to a team that's worse than us because
Right.
we
Well,
know you won't make them better.
they
And
figured
that's
that
crazy to me.
if
Even the
they
Wizards has got some talent
that's
coming
what I
up
was gonna
too.
say. They must figure that they have some talent over
They
there
got
to
some talent coming up.
get some picks or some people from them. So it's a method to the madness to do
The
something like
10
that.
Well,
win Wizards. Yeah, I
this is
got you.
this is the latest in the NBA season where a trade hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah.
So that's why I was also wondering where do you think the first trade piece would be? And I think maybe by the time we have the next pod, trade could be the guy that moves.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Well,
talking
I have another question for you guys. Since we're talking about trades, after seeing what we have on our bench and after saying, okay, we needed a backup point guard, we needed another power forward, we got Spencer Jones and we got Pickett now. Do you think we need to do anything at the trade deadline?
Yeah, I think we should still be aggressive and listen to offers, and if the right person comes through, I mean, like there's still like there are players in the NBA that like if they came to your team, you'd be happy to hear them.
What
So
about need for need?
for me, I mean, there's still a potential backup point guard position that could be filled. I mean, I think Bruce Brown is a good defensively, but if we can figure out a way to even get
I
him,
think after yesterday,
What
I know you're saying I'm doing a lot about it tomorrow yesterday, but I mean, they showed you who they are, that they're capable. I think you make Pickett be your backup point guard and you put Bruce Brown as the two.
I get you. Okay, so you're saying running with Pickett. Okay, I could do
would
that.
you want CJ McCollum?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if there's like somebody that's out there that we can get, but here's the problem. I heard the Nuggets just also have to pay. Now we're gonna have to pay
Spencer
Spencer
Jones.
Jones because he's been playing so much on his contract that he's gonna have to get moved over. So there's some limited options that are starting to come out because like
Yeah,
we basically just added another player.
we did. And
Okay.
and the other thing we got to pay P Watt next year.
So there's things that are,
Those things
I
that they
don't think they're gonna be able to pay P
but they
Watt.
might because here's the thing: we don't know if Cam Johnson's gonna get re-signed. That's the other part. Like
I
Cam.
thought Cam Johnson has 2 years remaining on his deal.
Yeah, but I thought it was something around the lines of he's on like a
1 year.
1 year or something, or like a player off something.
I
Yeah.
don't think that's the truth.
There's something that's with Cam's contract where it's like this could be his one and done year type of thing, or they might trade. Maybe people are just saying that they might trade him. I don't know. All I'm saying is that it's gonna come down to him. It's gonna come down to Cam or Pate Watson. That's essentially what's gonna happen eventually.
Wow. That'd be something.
So we shall see.
We shall.
Anyways, 2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining.
As you know, that last night game was crazy. We've been talking about it all podcast. And so I just want to go around the horn as we kind of wrap up and ask what has been, or maybe we can maybe go around and give a list of games, but what have been the most gritty Nuggets wins of say the last 10 years?
Oh boy.
10, or we can go back 10, 20 years if you
Oh,
really
my.
got something back there too. I'll let Christoph kind of start and then we'll go around the horn. Call last night's game the most because there's an
I mean,
opportunity.
it's in the list. It's
Yeah.
definitely on the list.
Yeah, I think either. Actually, I gotta take it from. I heard DA talk about it last night. That win at Utah, I think when they only had 7 players,
Yep.
Yeah.
that was. I mean, you gotta remember, like now, oh Utah, whatever. But like then, Utah
Then
was like the 1 seed in the West,
they had Gobert and they had Spider and
and Royce O'Neal
Yeah.
and Quinn Snyder as a coach
Sure.
and great Joe
Mike Conley.
Ingles, Mike Conley. That team, we seen them in the bubble. We know that was a great team or a really
Yeah.
good team for sure.
And just in case I'm talking Spider, I'm talking Donovan Mitchell. So they had a great team over there.
They did.
They did.
And so to go up there and beat them with 7 players, that was incredibly gritty, gutty, and memorable. The one thing about that, and I'm pulling this right from Coach DA's lips, is that they had Nikola Jokic in that game. So you still had your best player. So last night, I think you kind of have to bump that one up simply because they didn't have Nikola.
When they had the seven, they had Nikola.
Yes, the one that he's talking
It's
about.
Jamal. In that photo, I only see Jamal. I guess Nikola must be in that
They had
game.
Nicola.
Okay, so and then we had what's the name in it too? Kankar.
Kankar, yeah.
They had some
Yeah,
people on that team. That was funny. That was a funny win.
yeah.
Um, I'll take another one. I'll say last year's game against Golden State. If you remember, that game was the one where Spencer Jones, that was kind of his first
First,
takeoff
first.
game with the Nuggets. And obviously all our guys are out and we're playing against Golden State, who, is still Golden State, still has Curry, still got Draymond. It's not like they scrubs. For them to win that game,
Did
I
Spencer
remember
Jones have a game?
he had a game of life. That
Yeah,
was the first game I was like, who's this dude?
yeah, right.
I was,
He
this
had a
guy can
game.
play.
He had a
I was like,
game.
get this man a shield for real. Like he can
Right.
hoop.
Yeah.
And so like that was a big one for me. I would say that was a gritty game.
Mm.
Obviously, even just this year, even though again it's less grit, it's a different type of grit, but that Christmas game was I think that's off the charts too.
Incredibly gritty.
Yeah.
My sidebar, Jays, before you go,
Yeah.
with two quick sidebars. A, not sponsored, but Spencer Jones on the Old Man and the Three podcast with Cam Johnson. He talks about life as a two-way. He talks about that game and how much of a whirlwind that was. Definitely go listen to that because I like Spencer Jones a lot. I already liked him because how he's developed as a player, but just like listening to him off the court, the man he is, really good guy.
Last part on the Spencer Jones, is this true that he was tweeting from his LinkedIn?
That's what we
Was
heard.
that a real thing?
Not last night.
Yeah, I
DJ
think
No, after the
Morris.
game.
after the game.
After the game.
After the game, right?
Talked about a 300
Yeah,
pound man.
No, no, no. I'm saying, yeah.
He
No,
has
I'm
sent
saying
out
that
a
was on the
LinkedIn.
plane. I'm saying that was on the plane. Then the photo, iconic photo. Coach Malone.
Yeah.
You got Kankar. You got Torrey Craig, TC. You got Gary Harris. You got Big Yoke, Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
You got what's my guy's name? Oh, PJ.
Monte Morris too.
Monte
No,
Morris.
Monte Morris, of course. And then PJ. What's my guy
Yeah,
PJ?
yeah,
Went to South
yeah.
Carolina.
No, I was gonna say PJ Washington, but that's not it. It's P
Not PJ.
Dozier.
PJ Dozier, yes.
Real
Yeah.
Nuggets
Yes.
fans. That was a deep cut.
That's
That was
deep, deep,
Yeah.
deep
deep
down.
cut.
PJ Dozier. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Bubble legend.
All right, but Chris, is this real Spencer Jones tweet LinkedIn message?
Yeah.
They said, imagine getting embarrassed on television. Then the dude goes and posts about it on LinkedIn after it. And he was talking about his win.
He in the on the pod with Cam, he talks about he really does be on LinkedIn. So
Oh wow! So this is true. Wow. Okay. Okay, that's
what
funny.
did he say? What does
He
it
says
say?
some games you'll remember for the rest of your life. On paper, they didn't. This one didn't make sense. Shorthanded by 7 players, no starters, with lineup made up of almost entire guys who began their career in G League. And he just basically goes down saying how he loves his team and how they
He
beat
took the high had to defend the 300-pound man on time.
Oh man,
Hey, that's probably the truth.
Yes,
that's
well, that's
crazy.
true. No, okay, so here's mine, and I talk about it all the time because I still think it was, when they had DJ and Reggie Jackson, and they were a two-man wrecking team against their former.
They was Jokic. They look like Jokic.
They look like a Joker, yeah, Joker Mall out there playing the Clippers. They meant that they won. They had some, I don't know, something to prove to somebody, and they literally the whole game beat that game with those two guys just like going off
Yeah, that was a great game.
against their team. I wasn't that was like last year.
Yeah, I think that was championship year. Or was it the year after championship year?
I think it was the season after championship season.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was crazy game. So that was a gritted out. If only with the two.
I guess that all these games show is like these. You can make fun of them and you can say they're struggling, but at the end of the day, these is all NBA basketball players, and
Exactly.
they all deserve their jersey, even if it's not on your team. They all really do deserve their
Look at
jersey.
MPJ leaving
That-
going over to Brooklyn and being a man. We knew he had it in him, but in our system, we didn't need him to be the man. We
Nope.
really didn't. We just needed him to get rebounds and every now and then, go toe to toe with their power forward and
And
play
get the
defense.
best shot at that specific
And play
possession.
defense and hit some threes.
Another gritty one that just popped in my mind, and hopefully it makes one of the listeners of this pod smile. I know it made me smile. Is Jamal after you get 50 whenever he had 52 in the bubble, and he's like,
Yeah.
them shoes,
Shoes.
these shoes.
Shoes, man.
And he like broke down and started crying. Come on,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that was
perfect.
there's this moments in Nuggets fandom. Like how can it be a fan of any other team? Like this team gives you everything you want.
It
Like
does give
it
you
really gives you everything you want
drama.
in life. The
Yeah.
drama is like the thrills of exuberation of winning
Yeah.
and the lows of losing. Because when we lost Nikola the other week,
Yeah.
all of us that hurt my day.
For 24 hours, we didn't know if he's going to be, gone, or he just was going to be like he is now, out maybe 4 weeks with a strained knee.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
so
different, man. The Nuggets.
Jamal saying these shoes,
I
Yeah.
know someone
shoes.
made an edit the other day, like a TikTok edit of the bubble, and they're showing that like this might have been the greatest one of the greatest eras of basketball. More people should have some respect for the bubble. They was
No,
balling out in the
I
bubble.
think what people say, this is a sidebar. We could have a pod about this. The bubble is like immediately following it, people are like, oh, once the fans came back, like, oh, that was nothing. Like there was no fans, there was no this, no that.
No
But what
travel.
happened was, since there was no fans and they had really no families, no distractions, all it was eat, sleep, and hoop.
Yeah.
They was hooping, bro.
They were
Like
really hooping.
that was some of the best basketball
Yes.
I've ever watched,
That was
because it was like pure focus, except for, the teams that have been on record talking about how, oh, I couldn't focus anymore and I
Right.
just wanted
I
to
got,
get
I had
out of
to give
there.
up.
So I'm gonna have 8 points in game 7 and shoot off the side of the backboard just so I can go home. Exactly. But like that was pure basketball. And I do hope as time goes on, we do appreciate how much great basketball is played in the bubble. And
Hopefully,
I'm
Chris
happy
will
once more
document
as a Nuggets fan that I know the Lakers won it, but like I think the Nuggets were pretty memorable in the bubble.
Yeah, I was say hopefully someone shot a documentary because we need that for real. Anyways, from the Just Nuggets podcast, we had a lot to say, obviously, because it's been a while since we was on the microphone, so we had to do it. Anyways, you can always find us on Twitter, X, at Just Nuggets Pod. We'll be live tweeting, talking about the Nuggets. Until next time, the Nuggets play Boston tomorrow night. Make sure you check in, and as always, go Nuggets.
Go Nuggets.
Go Nuggets.